So I figured I'd answer some commonly asked questions I get when people find out that I have a husband and not a wife. This is probably like one of the biggest things that people are shocked to hear, like both online and in real life. When people first meet me, typically they either think that I'm a masculine lesbian or that I'm a trans man like I am. So when I mention my husband, sometimes they're a bit taken aback because they didn't expect that at all. So the biggest question I get about this is, why would you transition and go through all that just to be with a dude? I actually get why people ask this. For one, a big part of our society unfortunately revolves around intimacy, I guess. I can't say the actual word. It shouldn't be like that, but it is. That's why when people find out you're trans, like innately, they always wonder, like, what's in your pants? And of course, that's completely like taboo and wild to ask somebody, but it's not taboo and wild to think that. That's how society has taught us to be, and realistically, like, intimacy is a part of human nature, so people wonder. So this is how I explain it to people, and I think this is a good way of, like, breaking it down and helping people, like, get it from a more simplistic standpoint. First of all, gay people exist. You know, I did live as a lesbian. I dated women before my transition. If I wanted to date women, you don't have to transition just to date women. But a better way to explain it is, imagine somebody getting, like, life-altering surgery, going on hormones that will affect them permanently throughout life, with the goal of simply dating a certain gender. Like, nobody would do that. Nobody is gonna cut off their chest and go on hormones just to date women, because, you know, you can just be a lesbian. That's why you find trans people who are like gay or bi or straight, just like cis people. So that answers that part. Another thing is, and I usually get this in the form of like a hate comment, like they're trying to be hateful. They'll say, your husband must be a little gay. Wow. A little? Yeah, no, that's what this is. My husband sees me as male. That's how he addresses me. That's how he sees me. And then you got other people, like when they find out I'm married to a dude, they're like, well, he's not really gay because you're really a chick. That one has always struck me as a very weird comment, because it's almost like they're trying to like convince so hard that like my husband, you know, must be straight because I'm really a chick. And it's like, who are you trying to convince? Like, why are you going so hard on this? Like, do you got a crush on me? Another misconception is that, like, I transitioned while I was with my husband and he just stayed because he is such an amazing man. Oh, and he eats that shit up. No, my husband is an amazing man. He really is. He has stayed by me through a lot. But when I met my husband, I had already been on hormones. I had already had top surgery. Like, he met me. I had a beard. It wasn't a situation where, like, my husband and I were married, like I was, you know, a woman and I got pregnant, had a kid, and then I transitioned to male and he just stayed with me because he is just amazing. Like I said, he is amazing, but our story does not have that plot twist. I've been transitioning for almost 10 years, so like he did not even know me. So I can see why people get confused stemming from the last question, because there are pictures of my husband and I where I am, you know, presenting as a woman. Talk about a plot twist. When I had to go off testosterone because my liver was failing, I did detransition for a short period and I presented as a woman, and he stayed with me through that. So a lot of people like have questions about that. They're like, you know, but if he is gay, why would he be with you when you were a woman? And I joke like that my husband's MJ sexual, because honest to shit, I think I could go out like half in a bright pink tutu and a Celtics jersey and he would still love me. But the reality is like, I mean, at that point he was already in love with me. Like, he won't admit it because it was at the beginning of us like officially dating. But he was already in love with me at that point. You know, what is he gonna do? When my husband and I go out in public and stuff, you know, unless people recognize us, because sometimes, you know, we get recognized now. I think generally, they just think that either we're a couple that, like, you know, I ended up coming out as a lesbian or something and he just stayed. That's kind of like the vibe I get. Or sometimes people just think we're friends or brothers. Like one time, this little old lady, she was so sweet, but she came up to us and she's like, you two must be the best of friends. And I was just thinking, oh my God, imagine if she knew we bumped uglies. I think that's kind of just like the public's perception of us, which is okay. Like, I know we look different and I know it's a different dynamic. And that's part of why I talk about it, to raise awareness, because I know like some people are like scared or nervous about families that are, you know, that have a different dynamic than theirs. And my goal is that, like, sharing our lives with you guys, like, not just about us being an alternative family, but, you know, other aspects of our life, like cooking dinners, doing stuff as a family, you know, things like that, that, like, other people can relate to. I think it makes different dynamics less scary and less shocking, I guess.